What's up guys, it's CryptoNox back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be discussing how to invest money into Bitcoin, how to make the largest returns possible and the most profit for your money. Whether if you have a few $100 or a few thousand or even more, this is a video for anybody with any amount of money to start investing. So this is my first video on actually investing, since we've already gone over the basics of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. So first, let's note the huge milestone in Bitcoin today. It hit a record high of $20,000. It skyrocketed $8,000 today, which is absolutely crazy. And if we see here in the 30-minute chart, it only lasted for a few minutes until it completely just plummeted from $20,000 straight down to 15. Then it leveled around $16,000-$17,000. Then it went down a little bit. Now it's just floating around $17,000. So only 1 week ago, we'll look here in a more simplified chart. 1 week ago, it was at a low of 9,000 and around $9,900. It's up 75% since last week. And if you sold at $20,000, you would have doubled your money easily, and that would have been profit, cash right in your pocket. Or you could have just simply wisely just reinvested that money into trading. So as I said before, I recommend signing up for Coinbase. Their platform is very easy to use. They have slightly high fees at around 4% for credit card purchases. For bank account and wire transfers, they allow support larger sums of money, but they are a little bit slower, except for bank wires, which have the highest limit. You can put the most amount of money, yet they're the fastest. So wire transfers, they say 2 to 3 days. I did a wire transfer in person at Bank of America the other day. It went through within like 3 hours, which is crazy fast. Previously I bought Bitcoin with a bank account, and it took 8 days to properly go through. They lock whatever price you buy it at, but you have to wait 8 days until you actually get the Bitcoin. So let's say you buy it at $10,000, it's at 20,000 now, and you want to sell it that right before, and then the next day it goes back to $10,000, and you wanted to get that opportunity, you couldn't, because you just didn't have that Bitcoin, which I think is really limiting, and it's just I really hate this, how they make you wait so long for the Bitcoin. That's why I recommend, if you want to put a lot of money, like several $1,000s, bank wire is really the way to do it. They take like a day or two. They're very quick, and you can put the most amount of money. Now if you want to be a little bit more advanced in trading it with a little bit more features, such as limit and stop, Coinbase and GDAX, this is the name of the service. They're both free to sign up. GDAX has a lot smaller fees, so their fee is around like 0.25% compared to Coinbase, which can go up to 4 to 5%. So not only are their fees lower, everything is instant along with Coinbase. You have more options, and you have access to more specific data built in specifically for the Coinbase exchange. So now that I've discussed about trading Bitcoin, another thing, since it is at around, it peaked 20,000, it's stabilizing around 16, 17,000. We are expected to, or at least most people are predicting, it will pull back, several $1,000s, because to just skyrocket, $8,000 in 1 day, and even more in the span of 2 days, there's no support for it. So we do need to consolidate. There is the very high chance that it is going to fall back a little bit. So, and that'll be the absolute perfect time to buy, because once it goes back to, who knows, 14, 13,000, maybe even less, maybe, it'll only go to like 16 and then go right back. It'll be the perfect opportunity to invest. It's never too late to invest in Bitcoin, except for like right now, because it's just extremely high. But, whatever money you can, just make sure you have it. If you have only a few $100s, you can just use like the credit card, which is instant. If you have a few thousand to spend, I'd recommend doing a bank wire, and put it into your USD wallet. The cool feature they have on Coinbase is whatever you sell in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin, the three currencies they support, and they have wallets where you can hold it built in. They'll whatever you sell it at will lock in price in terms of dollar value. So let's say you sell Bitcoin at $10,000 and it plummets to, now if you sell it at like 18,000 and it plummets to 13,000, your profits, your price will be locked in at 18,000 for however much Bitcoin you bought, and uh, and the same thing could happen if you buy it at like 13,000, but then it just keeps going down, let's say to 10,000. You would lose money if you sell it. But at that point, if it does go down lower than what you paid for, just obviously the best thing to do is just hold and wait, because everyone knows Bitcoin will most likely just go right back up as you normally and usually and will continue to do. So that's what I have to talk about in terms of trading. Now let's go into the last thing, which is mining. This is one of the best cloud mining services called Hashflare. A lot of other YouTubers promote Genesis Mining. I really like their company as well. I think they're terrific. They're a great company, but their only real problem, and it's a big one, is they're always out of stock. So they've only sold mining power within the past few months like 3 times. So if I quickly go to their website, they're well trusted. They're daily payouts. Reason why I promote Hashflare is, I like their interface better, but also really it's because they're almost always, like 99% of the time, they'll always be in stock, and they have reasonable prices and reasonably cheap maintenance fees. So Hashflare is really good, well trusted. They've been around for years, just like Genesis Mining. If they do go back in stock, I don't have a problem. Maybe I'll buy something from them. But I'm just, my plan is just to keep it all on one platform. So I will recommend and promote Hashflare on this channel. So as you can see here, if I go to Bitcoin, sold out, out of stock, everything, no matter how much you want to buy, out of stock. Even other currencies are out of stock. Dash, Ethereum, Litecoin, and obviously the ones that are out of stock are the most profitable. So Genesis Mining, that's gone. That's not an option, at least for a while. Their last pre-sale was like a few weeks ago, and that mining wasn't even supposed to start until February. So not that they're gonna mine and then they give you your first profit in February next year of 2018, but they don't start mining until February, which I think is just, I don't even know why you would put your money in there. Even though their contracts are unlimited, quote, so to speak. I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather buy it off Hashflare, even if it was more expensive, because you start mining immediately. So by the time that people start mining in February with what they bought now, I've already made my money back. So I'll be in pure profit by the time they even start, trying to make the money they've spent already. That being said, no one knows what Bitcoin will be in February. So, what happens if Bitcoin crashes in February? You just basically, lost your money. But, we hope that doesn't happen. And, at this current rate, we don't think it will happen because Bitcoin is just so widely accepted and integrated into many businesses. Banks are starting to get involved with it. A few months ago, they didn't want to hear the word Bitcoin, but now they're all nuts about it. A few months ago, it was very famous. JP Morgan, the CEO, called Bitcoin a fraud. If I quickly search it up. There's more recent, say October 16th. They all claim it's a big bubble. Obviously these guys, he's worth billions of this $1 billion, $1 trillion companies, and these guys themselves are worth millions upon billions. So they're just trying to use their loud mouth and their large amount of power to scare people, so that they'll sell, the price will drop, because Bitcoin can just jump crazy in one day, and they know this. Everybody knows this. So then they'll buy. This guy was caught, red-handed buying millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, because he just knows that it has a potential. Everybody knows it does. So he called it a fraud, and then the same day or like the next day, he was caught buying, millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So it's just amazing how these guys call something a fraud, and then they just invest in it behind your back, behind the people's back, because everyone's just in this game for money. That's all it comes down to. So let's quickly take a look at my Bitcoin balance. So the other day it was worth $300 to $400. Now it's worth over $750, which is absolutely great. My revenue was $150 something per day. Now it's over 200. So that's how much. This is revenue, so that's actually not profit. So if you want to calculate profit, you go to history, and we'll go ahead and pull up a calculator while it's loading. So we scroll down, we see the log, and we'll take the latest SHA-256 payout. Make sure you include the decimal, obviously, and you don't mess up. That's why you just copy and paste. And then we'll take the latest maintenance fee. Go ahead, subtract, paste. That's 0.01 Bitcoin. That is technically less Bitcoin than I've mined before. See, I've mined more Bitcoin on previously, but the price was much lower. That's why. So when the Bitcoin price is higher, you mine less Bitcoin, but it's worth typically more. So I make $173 every single day, pure profit, based off this current high price and generally low difficulty. And we're not exactly sure how long this will last. The difficulty gets updated weekly. So if I do 173 times 7, that's $1,200 profit, every single week. That's absolutely terrific. Now, you're probably wondering, how much did I invest to make this kind of money every day? It was a lot. I won't lie to you. I want to be very transparent on this channel. I bought it worth around $9,000. Now it's worth almost $11,000. I bought it at a slightly cheaper price. So, what I paid for, this is not cheap at all. This is a lot of money, especially at my age. But I saved up money from, jobs, took money out of savings I've had over for years. So this is not just money that lands out of the sky, at least for me. If you do have money your parents are willing to give you, or you have savings, or you have a job and you've saved up, it's not a bad idea at all to buy a contract however much you can or whatever you're comfortable with. These do last 1 year, so you'll be mining Bitcoin 24/7 for a whole year. And that's just about it for this video. Like I said, mining is extremely profitable. You make your money back within 3 to 4 months, probably a little bit less than that. And then you'll continue to make daily profit for a year. It'll be all paid in Bitcoin. So let's say you mine, 1 Bitcoin, and however long it takes, a few months. That's a few months for me. So it's 6 months for 2 Bitcoin. So it's going to be less. But like I said, this is not actual profit. This is revenue. This is before electricity and maintenance costs. So when you do buy your contract, don't look at this numbers for how much you'll be making. You have to do the calculations manually. It will take a few days for you to get accurate numbers, because the first day will always be the lowest amount, because you start towards the middle or even in the end of the day, so you'll be paid almost nothing. But these contracts are extremely profitable. We are expected to pull back to 13,000, 14,000. Hopefully this will happen. We may not. We may just keep soaring through the roof. Or it may drop to 8,000. Nobody knows. Cryptocurrency, the entire market is very volatile. It's not like the New York Stock Exchange, where it's pretty standard. It just flows nicely. Bitcoin will drop at 5,000 and it will jump 8,000 like it did today. So like I said, it's at an all-time high today. We should be correcting very shortly, and I have some money waiting in my Coinbase account, so when I feel like it's the right time to buy, I will go ahead and do that, lock in some Bitcoin at a certain price. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I do recommend getting into cloud mining. They do everything for you. You don't have to worry about maintaining or repairs or anything, or electricity. Bitcoin miners are loud, and they do produce a lot of heat. So you can buy your own Bitcoin miner, but you have to deal with everything yourself, and you have to pay for electricity and internet. So they do everything for you. So if you do want to get started, go ahead and use my link down below. It's a referral link. So I do appreciate if you do use that link. And that's it for today's video, guys. This is CryptoKnock signing off. See you guys later.